Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the upsides and downsides of owning a headless guitar. This video is sponsored by DistroKid, which is, in my opinion, the best way for you to get your music on the internet. I use it for In Virtue, and we use it for the Dread Machine song, and in my opinion, one of the best parts about it is the ability to split the earnings among everyone who was involved in the song who has a DistroKid account. Let's start with the 5 upsides of owning a headless guitar. Number 1, and definitely the most important as far as I'm concerned, is the ergonomics. Headless guitars tend to be quite a bit lighter than traditional guitars because not only have you eliminated a big chunk of wood out of the guitar, but also the tuners that come with it. The tuners on the headstock are very heavy, a lot heavier than you might think, and having a nice light guitar overall is much better for your body, for your bones.
It's so much better for your bones.
Some people have no problem playing heavy guitars. You know, Slash has never complained about playing a 400-pound Les Paul around his neck for 30, 40 years. But for me, having a light guitar is paramount. Because when you play standing up and you've got a strap and it's weighing down on your shoulder, it pinches off a couple of important nerves that run through your shoulder and down your arm and into your hand. Because there's no weight of the headstock, headless guitars are generally a lot better balanced than your typical guitar, and that means that there's no neck dive, which means you're not fighting with the guitar to keep it up like an SG, which is the worst guitar ever made. SG stands for shitty guitar. Mr. Gibson said that. Upside number 2 is faster string changes. Because of the way that headless guitar hardware and locking nuts are set up, it's kind of like locking tuners. When you don't have to wrap a string around a post, you're gonna save hours of your life that you would otherwise never get back. Upside number 3 is super convenient travel. So as you can see, the case for these guitars is extremely small. People will probably ask you if you play a violin or a ukulele, and they might laugh at you, but you're gonna laugh all the way to the airplane where they're gonna let you bring it on and stick it in the overhead compartment or in the closet. Also, just day-to-day convenience of carrying it around to rehearsal, to gigs, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot lighter and easier to carry. Number 4, squeaks. Upside number 4, they just look cool. I mean, look at this. Where's the head? And upside number 5, you're not gonna smack your bandmates in the face with the headstock of your guitar while you are on stage. This is a very real danger. It has happened to me before, and this makes me feel a lot safer. These days, having your music on every available platform and getting multiple income streams from your music is absolutely paramount. And DistroKid just makes it incredibly easy for you to do this. All you have to do is upload your song, and then you choose what platforms it goes to, or you can choose to put it on every platform: Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Spotify, all those. And really, it's just an incredibly convenient way to get your music in front of your fans. DistroKid is also really affordable, and if you check the description below, we've got a link for 7% off of your first year membership. So now let's talk about the downsides of having a headless guitar. Downside number 1, you can't hang your headless guitar off of a typical hanger. It just doesn't work. There's no headstock to hang it on. It's not that big of a deal, but if you've already got a bunch of hangers in your house and traditional guitar stands, headless guitars just don't really work with them all that well. It makes me a little nervous. Some of them you can kind of put on them, but then I'm always worried that it's gonna fall over and break. So just something to keep in mind. Downside number 2, there's just a much smaller variety of headless guitars available on the market. There's a bunch of companies that are making them now. They are gaining popularity, but you can't just get like a headless Les Paul or a headless Telly from your local guitar center. They just don't exist. Actually, you can't get a headless Les Paul. Every Les Paul eventually becomes a headless Les Paul, but they don't work after that. So if you're looking at headless guitars, there's just kind of a small number of companies that makes them, and then of course custom one-off builders, but that starts to get pretty expensive. Downside number 3, you can't tune and play at the same time. Because the tuners are down at the bridge, you can't play your guitar and tune at the same time. You have to hit the note, let it decay as you tune. So if you've seen my tutorial on the best way to tune your guitar, I like to hit the string repeatedly while I'm tuning so that I can tune to the attack note rather than the decay. You can't do that with a headless guitar because with a traditional guitar, you can hit the note and tune the tuners up here, but you can't really reach down. You can, but it's incredibly uncomfortable and terrible. So if you don't tune like that, that might not be a problem for you, but that's something that I found that was a little bit annoying for me. Downside number 4, they don't really look that cool. The guitar community is kind of split as to whether or not they think that the headless guitar looks cool. So far, I think that it hasn't really gained that much popular acceptance. So a lot of people don't think they look that cool. I think that they do, but I'm kind of a dork, so what the hell do I know? Cool, of course, is sort of a relative term, and as old fuddy-duddies die out and young people come into power over their decaying corpses, the headless guitar may one day reign supreme. You never know. Downside number 5, a lot of people think that headless guitars feel like toys. I hear this all the time. People who have played traditional guitars their whole life pick up a nice little light Strandberg or a Vader and they think, wow, this just feels like a toy. In reality, it's probably just going to take you a week or 2 to get used to the feeling of it, and then you'll be fine, but some people just can't get past it. So it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're looking into getting a headless guitar. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, mash that subscribe button for more reviews and original content, and I'll see you real soon.